treated like slaves anymore because we're not slaves. If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel. Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hello, and grand rising to everyone. Happy Saturday. I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zari, the nutritionist. Today, we are going to be talking about foods that affect your mood. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Let's see here. We've got Allison Gentle. Hey, good morning, Dad. Thank you. We got Shirley Gentle Smart. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. Thank you all just so much for joining us. Hey, Yolanda, I see you. Good morning, blessings, Big Mama from Dearborn, Michigan. Thank you so much for joining us here. If you have not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif YouTube channel. We are streaming live on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. Please go ahead and give us some thumbs up, some hearts, show us some love as we bring this information to you. Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me on stage so we can get this thing going.
Hey, peace.
Hi.
And, a very grand rising to you. It's good to see you. Today, we're going to talk about some things that really, really make a difference in the way that we eat. And we have a special guest that we're going to kick this off with. A wonderful Charles Frazier is in the house with us this morning. And wow, I really am happy that he's here because he can share his wisdom in going through being not as fit or not as healthy as he wants to be, and then making the decision to change that, turn it around. And he's with us today to talk about it. This is going to be really wonderful. He's also a newly wedded man, and with a very wonderful another activist in our community, Beverly Kelly Frazier, and this is just a really wonderful day. They're two of my favorite people in the whole world. And I am so glad that they're there today. I want you to pay attention because this might be some of the things that can relate to yourself. And we're going to do that. And then we're going to jump into how food is connected with the mood. Okay. So before we go into that, did we do our hellos? Because we got to at least do that. And we're really happy that you're here.
Absolutely. I am going over to Instagram right now. Let me check out over there. But as mentioned earlier, Allison, thank you. Shirley, Yolanda is there also. I just really appreciate those that come on over and share and show up, and they're just there to support. And I really do appreciate that. We really do appreciate that. So thank you. Thank you so much for that.
All right, so let's go ahead and get with it. We're going to bring up Charles. Thank you very much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Charles Frazier. Woo! All right. How's it going, Charles? Good morning.
Sounds like, he's on mute.
Charles, you check your mute. Unmute. All right, we got a little mute thing. We'll figure it out. Keep talking, Charles.
Hello, can you hear me?
There we go.
Okay, right, there it is. There it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Frazier in the house.
one might not think that at 42 years I was a computer operator, in the technical
Oh,
field, but
well,
things happen like this. But
oh,
Dr. Zarif, Carolyn, thank you very much. You two beautiful people that have blessed Beverly and I through our meeting both of you.
uh,
Uh,
thank you. Yeah, well, Charles, I want you to kick back and relax. We are just so jazzed that you are here today to share your wisdom. And one of the things that I love about working with you is that you're a person that follows instructions. And this is really important that something I think that a lot of us look over. How important is it, first of all, to take care of yourself? But to
yes,
comply,
exactly.
that's another thing. So thank you so much, man, over and over for that. We're going to get right into it because this time shoots by so fast. And we want to thank everybody for coming by. But I wanted to have Charles on the show today because he really, really warrants being heard. I think you would get a lot of motivation if you're not moving. Charles is like, we run together when we're working out. And like this man is like Captain African American. This man is incredible. So we'll get into all of that before we even get into the. I think I'll wait and talk about the age later because you're going to forget all about the whole age thing when you hear how much Charles really enjoys his life. So Charles, let's kick it off by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you love.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, we'll mention my age later, but I'm a father of five children, 12 grandchildren, and five great grand. I was born in East LA, and but grew up initially in Southern Los Angeles. Graduated from Fremont High School, continued my education at LA Southwest College, and graduated with an associate's arts degree. I was employed by the Aerospace Corporation and as a technical librarian, and later moved into the computer operations field, aka information technology. After 20 years with aerospace, I started working for Kaiser Permanente as an IT support for the pharmacies for Northern and Southern California. So people ask me what at the age of excuse me, I retired in 2013. I'm currently in retirement after 42 years of corporate services. And people ask me, what have I been doing since I retired? And I simply reply, anything I want to. So, so it's a great feeling to establish that.
Wonderful. What are the things that you, after doing all that, what is it that really gets you out of the bed without an alarm clock?
Well, after working with you over the last two plus years,
Yeah.
my body is back to its 40 years of age is how I'm feeling. I'm motivated. I'm alert. I'm no more pain, no more back pain, leg pain, no more spasms, and just being eating healthy, following your directions. Some of us get to the age where we don't want people telling us what to do, but if it's for your benefit, it makes sense to listen to people who know what they're talking about. And that's why I appreciate you and Carolyn, that you have the answers. Only thing we have to do is listen to them and take action.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I don't even need to say anything after that. It's so beautiful. We want to, you just recently married. How is that going?
Well, family has always been important to me, and by observing my close knit family through the years, I plan on to continue the legacy with my wife, which who has been there for me, and we both continue to support each other, and that's what I love about my new, I guess my new direction now is I'm healthier. I have a woman that is in my corner, and we both support each other, and we talk things out. So it makes for a happier existence, is having a mate that you can depend on.
Is that a part of your life's philosophy to have a mate? Would you say that that's important? How important is it to have somebody to love and that you can count on?
You can always, if you have someone who really has, I guess you could say, quote, have your back. It helps you when you're down, when you're going through a crisis. We complement each other. When one is down, the other one picks them up. Uh, it's good to have someone that's going to nurture your emotions and keep you on solid ground, knowing that you have someone that you can depend on, and that's what I have with Bev.
Wow, man, that's hype. Man, that's so beautiful, man. Like you're a longtime member of a church, and you've been doing something all for many, many years. Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I'm a 32 member of Crenshaw Christian Center, the ever increasing
32.
32 years of ever
Woo.
increasing faith. I'm an active usher on Sunday services. I serve on the memorial usher team, and at one point I was teaching children's church at Crenshaw. So that I've always been active in the church. It keeps me balanced, hearing the word, being taught, not preached at, but taught the way of life that your life should go, and helping others.
And you really, like you have such a great balance, and that's what I find in people that are easy to get along with, people that bring spirit to wherever they are. Is it what do you feel? Do you feel that, I mean, like you consciously balancing things, or is that just your natural personality?
It's my natural attitude. I don't sweat the small stuff. Things will work out if you press the deer. If you keep with at it, and I like I said, I have Bev in my corner, and we both complement each other. So we deal with different situations together, and come out victorious at every turn. So that helps me stay balanced.
That's wonderful. And thinking that sometimes when you have like maybe things that if you don't agree, both of you don't agree, how do you take two people if you don't agree with something? How do you bring that together? Because you and Beverly are just always wonderfully big smiles and have me cracking up, and
Yeah.
so how you all maintain that? How do you, what's the secret?
The thing is, I wish I had the card with me, but there's a card that has statements, communications, respect, talk it out. And whenever we have a crisis, or we don't agree on something, we'll take this card and we'll put it on one another's side of the bed, and that signals that we got to talk about something because something's bugging me. And what we do is that's a signal. Let's sit down and we talk it out. So we never go to bed angry. We make sure that we understand one another, where we were coming from, and for the most part, things that we think in our head, thoughts, ideas, and suggestions that we get from the enemy, it plays on our mind until we talk it out. We realize, oh, so that's what you meant,
Oh,
but I may have taken it a different direction. But when we talk about it, oh, okay, good. We laugh about it because now we know we're on the same page. So
wow.
communication is key. We say that a lot, communications, but honestly, that's the key: being honest with each other and communicating with one another.
Absolutely. God, well said. Kara, you got any questions or anything before we?
Well, I mean, Charles has said a lot. He's done great things, but the one thing that stood out to me was that he graduated from Fremont High School. I did not know that you were a pathfinder.
Yes, yes, we are pathfinders.
Find a one. Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
with that. That is so cool. Wow. And your wife, Beverly, is also a retired teacher.
Yes, she was special education for 35 plus years, and she worked with the junior blind. Um, in the short story, her students she still keeps in contact with, and whenever we go to different functions, when we started out, dating and we regrouped after 54 years of not seeing each other, we went to different functions, and these her students would be there, and they would seem to be mean mugging me. And so I told Beverly, why are they mean mugging me? They were so protective of her that they were giving the signal, you hurt her, you will see me again. So 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 it was
That's right.
and this is true. They love her when they see her. They're 6'2", 280 or whatever. Grown men will resort to saying, "Oh, Miss Kelly." They go back to that child, and she's helped so many children that were quote unquote unreachable, and she reached them, and she's got. I said she has a cult because they would do anything for this woman,
Yeah.
and so that's what I love about her, that she helped all these children that grew up to be productive, in society.
Oh man, that is the truth because I've been around her when she'll have like a student
Hmm.
that she helped raise, and
Yeah.
and oh yeah, it's serious business, man. It's like you
Oh
don't have to
yeah.
worry about bodyguards because she got plenty of people surrounding her with a lot of love. Another thing that I wanted to get into, like at one time, you were struggling not so much, as healthy as you are now. I
Hmm.
really want people to understand making that decision. Would you speak on that a little bit? Making the decision
Hmm.
to not be sick. Uh, I could see the other way around, but I'm saying the derogatory way because it seems to get attention. But how do you make the decision from here you are,
Hmm.
eating a certain way, maybe sleep in a certain way, maybe it's in your environment. Talk to us about that.
Well, at first, I suffered from chronic back pain, leg spasms, fatigue. After meeting with you, Doctor Zarif, and suggesting certain herbs and proper eating habits, along with vigorous exercises, because I tell you, you do not play, and you either keep up or get out. But I enjoy that.
Yeah,
The importance and the importance of sleep and stress management. That's the key. Stress management. Like I said earlier, I don't sweat the small things. I just deal with them and get rid of them. Uh, I went from 169 pounds with a 39-inch waist, which is not an ideal weight for a guy 5'5", and now I'm 149, between 149 and 150, 35 and a half inch waist within two within within 2 years, and
Wow.
I'm maintaining it. I never felt better, and I'm enjoying life, feeling like I'm 40 years old.
yes, indeed. Tell them
Wow.
about that blood pressure. How you've improved on your blood pressure and your pulse rate.
The pulse rate was incredible. I was at my pulse rate was 57. It hovered between 57 and in upper 40s. And my doctor said, "Well, you have a low, pressure point or whatever." But now it's in the 80s, 81. I went from like 200, well, not 200, but 160 or 147 for my blood pressure. Now I'm hovering around 117 over 77. Hit 120 over 79. So and I'm feeling more healthier. I'm not fatigued. I'm full of energy. And that's mainly because of following your directions, Dr. Zarif.
Thank you.
And it's helped me get a new Nissan life to be more productive and enjoy life. So I plan to be around for a long time because I'm not going to give up exercising and eating right. And it's not hard to do. You just have to
Yeah,
put your mind to it and do it. If you want to survive, if you don't want to be walking, you know, some kind of handicap or something that's hindering your health where you can't do things, I would take that very seriously. That there is a way to do it. There are ways to better your life, and I'm fortunate and blessed to have Carolyn and Dr. Zarif to have me to be a guiding light. So
oh,
I appreciate both of you.
oh, thank you. Yeah, we got to have you back on because you great. That energy is incredible. Before we let you go here, what are some of the things that if people want to get in contact with you, or what would you leave us with? What would you want to say to everybody?
Bottom line, enjoy life. It's the only one you got, and never say never. Yeah, and put yourself first. That's the important thing. Like yourself, and it only automatically allows you to like other people. But
Yeah,
I've always been charitable and helping people and dealing with people because it makes me feel better that I've accomplished someone's happiness if they seem to be down or whatever. So I live by that creed.
wow. Man, that's a great creed to live by. Wonderful, wonderful. Carrie, you want to ask any question before we move?
Well, there was one question, and you said you lost weight from when 169 to 149. So,
Hmm.
with that change, what's something that you were once not able to do that you're now able to do now? Because I know for me, like even just something like as simple as walking up the stairs or tying my
Hmm.
shoelace may seem a little weird when I'm at a weight where I'm really not comfortable with. So,
Hmm.
what's something that that has changed since you made
Well,
the change?
I sleep better. I can walk, without any effort. Dr. Zarif has us running in place for 1,000 steps. When we hit 900, we up the pace. So I mean we're and so I'm breathing better. I'm not exhausted as much anymore. No more. I used to get chest pains. Getting up out of bed. That's gone. No back pain. No leg. And it just the weight loss is allowed me to manage myself better, be more movable, move around more easily. So it begs I begs people to take heed to eat properly. It doesn't take much. Some of the vegetables and stuff I didn't like to eat. My Beverly makes a mean salad, and people say, "Well, there's no meat." Well, she has the vegetables, the avocado, the just all kind of compliments, condiments that she puts in it, and it's filling, and you feel better afterwards. You don't feel bogged down with heavy, eating, some meats or whatever. So it makes me feel a lot lighter and easier to move around.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you so
That's
much.
beautiful. Well, we definitely enjoyed you. Thank you so much, Charles, for being here.
Hmm.
We'd love to have you on again. We need to have the wisdom corner, and this would be great help to actually talk to our listening audience so that you've already been there, you've done it, and for those people that think that there's a slick way around it, like my mother
Mm-mm.
used to say, you can get back, but you can't get away. So
Man,
it's
you got,
really great to hear you speak about the things that are making you feel better, perform well, and just enjoy life. I love your attitude, and thank you so much for being here, sharing it with us.
Thank you, Doctor Zarif. And one more thing before we go, you didn't mention my age. I'm
Oh
seven.
yeah.
I'm 73,
Woo!
73 years young,
Yes.
and feeling like I'm 40
Wow.
That's
because
great.
I'm doing the right things, and I plan on being around for a lot more years.
That's and I have to say this. It has to be in that attitude, doesn't it, Charles? It has to be
Yeah,
a
definitely, definitely. You have to, you gotta love yourself and want to be here more years. I've got, like I mentioned, 12 grandchildren, 5 great grand, and my adult children, and I want to be around to see them graduate,
yeah.
get married, and you can't do that if you're not doing the right things for your body
That's
Yes.
right.
and your mind and your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm glad you said that because we have so many people think that they can think themselves into good health. No, you got to work out. They think that I'll get around to eating good food later.
No.
Even just to have the patience, just to sit down and listen, just with what you've been sharing us, is very difficult for people not to, just be still, take in the energy,
Yep.
learn more about yourself, and calm yourself. But I'm very happy that you've made it easy for us to listen, and very very enjoyable. And everybody, these are some points that you can take and add to your list of tasks or your list of goals that you would like to achieve. We're going to have Charles Frazier back. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Frazier. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Thank
Woo!
you so much,
Thank
Charles.
you so
Thank
much.
you, Carolyn. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Zarif. Thank
All
you.
right. We'll see you next time, Charles. And thank you so much. Okay.
I just
Um,
wanted to add this comment here that Yolanda made. Says, thanks for sharing with us, Charles. Life be life and enjoying my full ride. So absolutely.
Yeah, he's quite amazing, and then that you get double the power when you see him and his wife together. They're
Yeah.
just absolutely adorable, lovely, powerful,
Hmm.
and just really wonderful. And I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity to. Share moments with them, and just really just awesome. Let's go on now. We're gonna go ahead and Carrie, you go ahead and pick it up for us, reset, and then we're gonna talk about the foods that affect your moods. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Again, thank you so much, Charles, for joining us and sharing your story with us. We are here in the Mind of Nature. I am Carolyn Gentle with Dr. Farid Zarif, and we are talking about food that affects your mood. So thank you all so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. We are live streaming right now on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. So thank you all so much for joining us, Dr. Zarif. I know we only have a little bit of time, so let's get to it and start with the lesson at hand.
All right. Well, you got it, Kara. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead. We want everybody to let's go ahead and start right off with some of the things that, just to set the premise, there are foods that we eat that aren't the best foods for us. And we're going to talk about some of the foods that we can eat that make us feel better, that gives us more energy. And the beautiful thing about it is that it tastes good too. So we have all these things happening for us. I'm going to just right now, I'm just working on this technical. Okay, good. So here I want to share with you, first of all, like keep your mind on food. And even this weekend, if you can, go to a farmer's market, go to where food is, even if you have to go downtown LA where they bring all the fruits and vegetables in, or if you have to get some from a farmer's market, surround yourself with food so you can get a better relationship with food. Not just buying stuff in a box or in a can, but so you can get a better relationship with food. You see all these colors here. These colors are very, very important because when we look at all of these colors, then what happens? Uh-oh, what happened here? Okay. The, okay, that's better. All right. So what we want to do here is we want you to see these particular colors, because these particular colors, they represent particular properties. So when you're eating the food, especially in the morning, make sure that you get your fruit. The fruit is just important in the morning because I love the way that it initiates your bowel movement. It gives you the little spurt of energy that you need. It's called fructose. So we get that from the fructose. And we also get a lot of fiber. We get insoluble fiber and soluble fiber from these foods. And that really helps to maintain our getting rid of, or defecating, getting rid of waste. Now, eating a plant forward diet, meaning that you're going to increase. Now, when we talk about food and you talk about plant-based, or you talk about whole food plant-based, and you talk about vegetarian, flexitarian, you talk about vegetarian, vegan, all of those are different lifestyles. Now, what we want to do is get you to think about where you are when it comes to your lifestyle, your eating lifestyle. Okay. You're going to hear more and more about the eating lifestyle. You know, I've coined that phrase so that we'll get a better understanding of what we're talking about. We're eating and we do it as a lifestyle. Now, what we want from that is we want to make sure that we're reducing the risk. We're reducing the risk of disease and infection and illness and death and even handicap. We are definitely risking, and we have a higher risk if we are eating the foods that will hurt us. Of course, we want to reduce, and we also want to just, if I can get this word out my mouth, but we want to decrease. I was searching for decrease, but yeah, you want to definitely decrease the risk, and that's what we do. We eat without decreasing the risk. So let's get back into it. It's not about some things. You know what is king in our society? Entertainment. Entertainment is king, right? So it's very, very difficult if you are being entertained by other stuff that don't allow you to make better choices, or things that you negate. You know, like you rather go and play around or go see somebody else play different games and stuff. And there's a place and time for basketball, football, soccer, and all that. Mm-hmm. I love it. I'm an athlete myself, but you have to get your priorities in place. You want to go ahead and make a comment on that, Karen?
Just in agreement with you. Definitely prioritize your health. It should be at the top of the list of things that you need to do.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, there was a story. Well, actually, it was a study at Warwick College, and it was Warwick University. You probably know that. And it's involving 12,000 participants that found that those who added more servings of fruit and vegetables reported higher levels of life satisfaction. Now, life satisfaction isn't just like anything. It means that you're satisfied with the way that you're living. When you get caught up on stuff that everybody's doing, you're following the herd, and the herd always leads to the slaughter.
Hmm.
So you got to really, we have to get a grip on that. You know, if you don't, you'll go through life and you'll sometimes you'll finally things that just happen, you know, like the all black family that just their land was taken away from them is about 60 years ago. And their land was taken away from them. I believe it was a government move, and then 60 years later, finally, they returned the land back to them. And these are things that sometimes you get yourself caught up in things and your life just passes you by because you get caught up in things that won't matter later or don't matter now. So it's about making that great decision to really live. And food will help you to maintain and sustain a very, very healthy, joyful life. So this right here is very hard to, you know, it feels like you almost want to sell the idea to people, but you have to make up your mind that you want to get healthier. And as you continue to do that, like Charles was saying earlier, it's just like being complicit, making sure that you work along with your doctor. It's not just about your doctor. If you're wanting somebody to do something to help them and they're rejecting your help by not allowing themselves to get involved and follow those steps, then you know you're not helping reach those levels that you never been to before, or maybe the last time you felt great was when you was in high school, or
Hmm.
you know those kind of things. You can actually feel like this every day. Let's go to the next thing. The plant-based diets reduce anxiety and depression. So if you're going through that thing where you're rushing and you're on the edge and all that stuff, first of all, rushing is based in fear. So when you're rushing, it's based in fear. Oh, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be in trouble. I don't know what to say. They're going to, you know, all of that stuff, you know, change. See if you can get an understanding with people, places, and things that you're going to call the shots. You're going to have your own pace. If you're married, there's a certain pace that married people go through. If you're single, there's a certain pace that you go through. But learn to love that and be in charge of your life. Fiber is next. When we talk about fiber, this is what keeps your bowels regulated. Some folks say that they don't want to hear anything about bowel movement, but name me a person or any living thing that doesn't have waste. So this is a part of being healthy. Don't be silly about this because all of us go through this process. And if we didn't go through this process, we would definitely be looking in the face of septicemia, also known as sepsis, also known as toxic blood. So we want to make sure that we're making good decisions when it comes to fiber. And here are some of the things. You got five things. You got your beans, you got nuts, you got your grains, and you have your vegetables and what? Fruit. So you got those five things. Remember five things, and go over that and over that so that it'll become just automatic.
Hmm.
Thank you for being here this morning, everybody. Really appreciate you. I'm Dr. Zarif, and of course, along with also my partner host, the co-host, and we want to make sure that we let you know that we really appreciate your attention here and do something with the information that we're sharing. Let's go on to fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables may also help to prevent depression. So if you're going through some of these things like depression and you're going through anxiety, remember you can lower the levels in which you experience some of the psychological distress by again eating healthy foods. Love looking forward to eating, not to glut, but just because the food tastes so good. And these are the foods that are going to help protect you because they're going to boost your immune response. And this is going to be so wonderful when you give yourself a chance to get more chances. Okay, this is one of the things I want to talk to you about here are the portions. You heard me say the dosages earlier about medication, but when it comes to food, your size or portions of food are very important. You see, you get some small dishes here. You can still pack these with enough food in order to satisfy you. You don't need to eat big, heavy dishes of food. Now, some of you do that and then you don't exercise, you don't move, you got excuses, or I don't want nobody telling me nothing. All those things. Well, guess what? If you do it this way, do it for a couple of days where you're actually listening and you're going to act out. Just do it. You don't just pretend like I didn't say anything, because that sometimes that can be something that can make people a little off balance. So it's really important that you want to allow yourself to do things to make you feel better. You want to allow yourself or allow others to say things that may be very character shaping for you. You want to look at people that are doing what they say they're doing. Now, some people will say, I'm healthy, look, and then they'll make these big biceps. I'm healthy, look at these muscles in my legs. I'm healthy, and they'll do planks. But all of that is fitness.
Right.
Now, I shouldn't say it's the only thing, but that is mostly an expression of your physicality. That's
Mhm.
what you can do physically, but you can also be have a Jones for sugar and soda and baked goods and all of that, and you can still do the a plank or sit ups or chin ups and all of that. So don't get that twisted. It is definitely a combination of things, and in order for you to be healthy, you need absolutely good nutritious food. You need to be able to rest also. You need to be able also to have some time in the day where it's all to yourself. Okay. So let's go ahead. I want to go all the way down here because there's some other things that I want you to know that you can also these are things that don't make you feel as well. Well, eggs, we'll get back around to eggs because I want to do it in a very short form. But let's start off with the foods that make you feel sick. These are some of the things that you can avoid. You ready? Here we go. Sprouts. Sprouts, these are the seeds that have sprouted, and they make these are also called microgreens. And microgreens are those healthy little cloves, and they have the sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, so forth. Raw and lightly cooked sprouts, especially clover and alfalfa, have caused a multi-state breakouts of food poisoning ever since 2006. And so I'm saying that slow so you can really let that soak in. They're seeds that have been sprouted. Raw and lightly cooked sprouts, especially clover and alfalfa, have caused multi state outbreaks of food poisoning ever since 2006. Now, the same warm, humid conditions that nurture sprouts also promote salmonella, listeria, E. coli. You see, all of these, there's another one, Shigella. All of these are the different types of bacteria that you can be exposed to if you're not doing some of the things like washing it, getting as organic as you can. And you definitely want to avoid things like when you have your sprouts that have been touched. It's hard as hell to find out how do they do that. Where's their factory? Well, how do they put that together? Because sometimes we just want to open a pack and then just start eating. We don't wash it off, or we don't let it soak or anything like that. And we have to get around to start doing that more. Now, you might be tempted to toss these antioxidant packed seedlings fresh into salads and to sandwiches. But it's safer to cook the sprouts first, and washing won't kill the germs. So the heat, like if you have steam on the sprouts, and then that's what helps to kill the bacteria. So keep that in mind. Like even with lettuce, the outside of lettuce, if you have put it on like a steamer and then let the steam kill the bacteria. Now I know that's something new if you haven't heard that before, because most people think all you need to do is just wash the fruits and vegetables and then bite into it, or eat to make a salad or something. But yeah, sorry to report it, but there's something that is our duty to do. Kara, I see your face really looking like what the what. So
You,
go
and
ahead.
it's and it's funny, and now I'm frozen. But yeah, that came as a surprise to me when you said sprouts and it needing to be or it makes you feel sick. I'm like, because I know I've had sprouts. I've sprinkled it over my or incorporated in my salad, and things like that. So that is a surprise to hear that sprouts would make you sick.
Well, yeah, and some, not all, sometimes they are infected because they have so many people handling the sprouts with their bare hands,
Okay.
and they're not doing safe practices. So don't freak out like all is like that, but it's hard to tell when or when not. So the best thing to do is to get a steamer. A steamer, you can get like the double pot, the pot, and then you put the steamer, the other pot that had all the holes in them. That's and then you put the top on it, so you can easily steam it like that. And they also have portable steamers, where they steam rice and they steam other foods. And so just look into that. But this is very important. Keep in mind that you can keep in mind, like water, for instance, when people they'll say like, oh, I don't have to buy purified water. I boil my water and it kills the germs.
Mhm.
Well, they're absolutely right. But what it boiling water doesn't kill are pharmaceuticals.
All
And that
right.
is the drugs that are in the water
Mhm.
and other things, heavy metals. There are other things that are in the water that we want to purify. We want to use filtration so that we can remove the solids from the water. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go ahead and move on. Next is raw milk. Now, raw milk is one of the most dangerous sources of foodborne illness and is illegally or illegal in some states. There is some states you can't even sell raw milk. Now, it's milk is from animals uh, uh, that it hasn't been heated. Now, when you heat something, that is called pasteurization when it comes to food. And you've heard of pasteurization found by Dr. Pasteur. So the pasteurized, or like when you heat up the food, then you start to kill some of the bacteria in there. And as I said, that's pasteurized or to kill bacteria. That's what that is.
Mhm.
And then you have your raw milk, and your raw milk can harbor E. coli, Listeria, Campylobacter, and also Salmonella. These are different types of bad bacteria, and they can make you very sick. They can cause diarrhea for days, vomiting, and serious illnesses with the Guillain-Barré syndrome, and that is that can easily lead to paralysis. So if you get the Guillain-Barré syndrome, you may be partially, or you might be like like a quadriplegic, not being able to use all four. You got to be really aware of these things. Who wants to even deal with paralysis on any level? Nobody. So check your milk container to ensure that it's pasteurized, especially at farmers markets, because that's when people are, taking the teats and they're making their own stuff. Look, pasteurization is important. Some people like, I don't want it if it's pasteurized. But this is the way to definitely control and to manage the spreading of so-called bad bacteria.
Now, are there some things that, or are there some things that we shouldn't want pasteurized? That we
Well,
should say, oh, no, no to that, but yes to this?
Well, you do have. I usually drink like slightly pasteurized, but the idea when it comes to fruit is you want to make your own because it's very difficult to serve millions of people and not treat the whatever food that you're selling, whatever the product is. So that's an excellent question, Care. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of, as a matter of fact, orange juice.
Okay.
For instance, you take orange juice, practically all orange juice is pasteurized unless it says fresh squeezed.
Hmm.
Fresh squeezed mean that they juiced it and they put it into a bottle and sold it. But when you take pasteurized is they juiced it and then what they did is they cooked it, you see? And then once they cooked it, then they bottled it and then they made it, they sold it. So yeah, those kind of techniques can be very, very unhealthy. And if a person does it on a regular basis, this is when they get sicker, and then it can also be a threat to better health.
Okay.
Um,
So in the case of orange juice, what I'm hearing or what I'm understanding is to have freshly squeezed orange juice versus pasteurized. Like that would be better. But as far as milk, yes, you want pasteurized milk. You don't want raw milk.
That
Is
is
that
correct.
correct?
Some people still they have raw milk is available in some parts of LA, like when you go way out in the rural areas where they have farms and all the acreage, and you'll find that a lot of them do it. I used to eat raw, the raw ice cream,
Mm.
and so I used to be an ice cream fanatic. And when I would eat the ice cream, it was fatter, it was creamier,
Yes.
it was just awesome. And I got to the point that I would buy the ice cream, and before I even got home, I was eating the ice cream before I got home. And if I didn't have a spoon, I would take it on the angle and eat it, on the side. So these are very easy to get addicted to that kind of stuff, and sugar and the fake. You can have black walnut ice cream without any black walnuts in it because they do it all through flavor. Or
Hmm.
you can have strawberry ice cream where they'll color it pink and they'll put little red dyed apples in there, like apple bits, to make you think that you're eating one thing, but you're not. So yeah, it's a lot of tricks when it comes to food. Let's move on. Is you good, Kara? Did I
Yes.
answer that? Okay, great.
Yes.
Annually, the salmonella tainted eggs cause 79,000 United States cases of food poisoning and 30 deaths. And chickens can pass salmonella to eggs and before the shell even forms. So if the chicken is already infected, that means that what the chicken is producing is going to be infected too. You're
Hmm.
not going to get healthy eggs from a sick chicken. You're going to get sick eggs from a sick chicken. So that's another thing to definitely keep in mind. Let's go ahead with. I want to say this first. Back to you, Care, about the pasteurized eggs. Now, pasteurization can be done with eggs also, and they're hard to find. They do sell pasteurized eggs, but they also have do-it-yourself dunking eggs. And the dunking eggs is when you take the eggs and you actually put them in 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and you do this for about 3.5 minutes, and the eggs they may thicken slightly from that, of course, because of the heat. But this is something that you do, or people that eat eggs, they also do what is called a DIY dumping. So the dunking is very helpful and gives people, an ease of thought when it comes to that. Then we have flour. Flour, you probably wouldn't dip a spoon into raw flour to eat it. But what about the cookie dough and the cake batter, and like different batters that you make? Even some people just can't have the bowl, and then they'll eat certain things, and that's how we grow up. Now it's rare that raw flour can be contaminated with E. coli during harvesting, grinding, and sifting. Bleaching flour won't kill the E. coli, which can uh, the E. coli and the combination of bleaching the flour. This can lead to bloody diarrhea. It can also lead to vomiting and even kidney failure and death. So you want to make sure that these are things that you can move on right away. Don't just say, "Well, nothing happened to me so far." What you waiting for? Waiting for something to happen? I don't get that. So I'm talking about the boxed cake mixes and the prepared cookie dough. All of these can also harbor bacteria that can be quite deleterious to the human body. Next, let's move on to bagged lettuce. Now, we all go to the supermarkets today, Trader Joe's. I do it all the time. And this is something that I have to go to drop that habit and replace it with a healthier habit. Fresh salads are another top source of food poisoning, but pinpointing the cause of the poisoning, it can be quite tricky. So some of the outbreaks are tied to specific kinds of greens, often romaine lettuce and spinach, or certain growers or packers. You have to look out for salmonella and other bacteria that can be traced to dirty irrigation water, soil, and human hands. So your dirty irrigation water, you'll see the water that's sprinkling on the farm. You've seen that before, and sometimes they have a trickle system. But when you see all that water, and it's like it can be tainted water. Sometimes it's also called wastewater. You'll see them, and they'll use the irrigation, dirty irrigation, also the dirty soil. If you're eating food like, for instance, tubers, roots like ginger root and potatoes and radishes and on and on, all these things. Even if you're eating peppers, which grows out on the plant, the dirt, the soil, if you don't remove the soil, these are some of the foods, the products that can definitely be bad for your health. Okay, let me go through just a couple of more here. The same thing with chicken, everybody. Chicken, of course, is the number one choice of meat. And in every year, there's about 1 million of us that get sick after eating chicken. Like all animals, chicken have bacteria in their gut. Pathogens such as Campylobacter bacteria and Salmonella bacteria, all these can get on the birds during processing and packing. So a bird can be a bird. You think about it. A bird is all on the ground. Then it goes maybe in a coop that has the feces there. A lot of times, I just went to a ranch that I told you about it. Care, what's it? What is it?
Bloom
Oh yeah,
Farm. Hmm.
this is the Bloom.
Bloom Farm
No, it
or Bloom
wasn't the
Ranch.
Bloom
That's
Farm
what you said.
Ranch. Yeah, Bloom Ranch. Yeah.
Yes.
So the Bloom Ranch, they had chickens out there, and I did post it. I'll put some more up there so you can see it. But they were showing you how it doesn't have to be nasty and overcrowded, to raise chickens, and that's what it's been. A lot of contamination, and especially contamination if you're eating raw meat. there can be contamination wherever you lying it down. If you put it on a cutting board, that cutting board then has to be disinfected after you use it.
Right.
Don't just rinse it off and put some bubbles on it and then, think that's going to get it done. Okay. All right. We got a few seconds left here. Other things you need to keep in mind would be pre-cut watermelon. Every year, 1.35 million people in the United States get salmonella. Nearly 25,000 are hospitalized. Infections are more common in summer. And when more of us enjoy watermelon, we enjoy the cantaloupe and we have the honeydew melon. These are some of the melons that are absolutely delicious, but they can also they're on the ground because they actually grow on the vine as they're developing. That's why you always have that light section of the melons. But what that can happen, the rinds can actually pick up the bacteria. It can actually absorb the bacteria. So you want to be aware. The pre-cut melon can pass on norovirus, everybody. Norovirus. This is a whole different fight. Listeria and other harmful agents. Washed whole melons are best. So when you get the melon, just don't pick it up and put it right there on your table or somewhere clean. You have to wash that off. People hands have been all that. You don't know what has happened to that melon before it gets to you. Oysters is another one. Those slurpy, slippery oysters, they can definitely also trap viruses and bacteria in the same way. Eating tainted raw oysters can give you a vibriosis. It can also cause bacteria. You can also cause vomiting and fever. It can cause you to have chills. And in more than 80,000 Americans every year go through this every year. So you can catch the norovirus, and it's sometimes called the stomach flu, or some people also call it the 24-hour flu. 24-hour flu is nothing but food poisoning. It's another way to look at it, and that's another way to call it. Raw milk cheeses. This is another thing. Remember again, the Easting soft cheeses made of raw milk is much riskier than pasteurized cheeses. So make sure that, I know people like raw cheese and it's all for the taste, but make sure that you make a better wise decision in making sure that it is pasteurized. Pasteurized. Now, there are people that eat like this in different tribes around the world, and they don't get sick. Some of them don't get sick. Most of them don't get sick. But this is because a lot of them have built up immunity to that. And they can eat a little differently than you and I. So that stands today. So, but be very cognizant of what you're putting in your mouth and what needs to be treated, cleaned, washed, purified, filtered. All of these things are important. Ground beef. Now, when we talk about ground beef, automatically you think about what? E. coli. And E. coli became a household name in the early 1990s. Now, when more than 700 adults and kids feel ill after their just uncooked burger patties, and this happens in fast food chains, that uncooked burger, it'll be hot on the outside because the temperatures are really hot, and sometimes they appear to be cooked through and through. But you will see people mashing on the burger, and some people will even just take it and cut it slightly to see if it's pink in the middle. So it is really important that you get the burgers, the ground beef. All of this should be cooked thoroughly, and you start off cooking steaks and roasts at about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Ground beef and pork need to reach about 160 degrees to be safe. When you're frying burgers, that's usually about 140 degrees Fahrenheit, but leaving it on there until it is done and not pink, and that's when you're really taking a big chance. You do have a better chance if you're eating cooked foods. Okay, keep your mind also on. Make sure you write this down. The hot dogs, like these ballpark staples, are pre-cooked. When you're eating hot dogs, they've already been cooked. They are not raw. If they were raw, you would not eat them. Believe me, if you saw how they made hot dogs, you wouldn't be eating them. They're really, really a interesting item. I'll leave it like that so we can vilify it another time. Uh, the invisible threat here, and I'm going to finish with this. The invisible threat is that you can come down with food poisoning from 20 minutes to 6 days after a meal. Keep that in mind. It can go from 20 minutes all the way to a whole week. And when I'm talking about food poisoning, if you haven't been poisoned before, you throw up. You also can have diarrhea at the same time.
Mm.
You see, that is coming out at all ends. And the last thing that you ate isn't always what got you sick. To avoid foodborne illness, just take it seriously. And it sends 128,000 people to the hospital every year. 128,000 people every year go to the hospital because of what? They are infected with these germs and the handling. I'll say this before I go. When you look at the people who are serving you the food, they're usually younger people because they get these jobs to pay lower. And there's the first time they have the first jobs, so forth. So what happens here is that they young people as well as some older people, they don't stay there. You should be there for at least 20 seconds washing your hands. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. And then you teach your child to sing happy birthday twice. Happy birthday to you. You have them sing that the whole song, and you have them sing it twice and show them how to wash not just the hand, but bring it down to the wrist a little bit here so they can get any food that's or bacteria hanging around there. Okay. And then someone will leave with this beautiful picture of some very healthy green tea. This is just a symbol of eating and drinking healthy. All right. I'm going to stop right there because we have run out of time and did a little extra. We want to thank our guest, the wonderful Charles Frazier, for being here with us today. We also want to give praise and thanksgiving to the higher source and make sure that we take advantage of some of these things. Before we go, we got to go down here and make sure if there are any questions. So, Kara, why don't you go on you go on YouTube. No, go on our Facebook, and I'll do Instagram.
Okay. Let's see it. Just from Yolanda that says live foods are best. Varieties of food and vegetables are a must. Yes, absolutely. Tina Strange says we have a good farmers market here in Bakersfield. The farmers and growers offer a lot of options. That's
Oh,
really
oh, that's
cool.
good.
Let me see. Allison Gentle, Charles gave me renewed hope knowing that he is a couple of years older than me and he is pain free. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Love it.
And
Love it. Thank you so
beautiful.
much for all the comments and the feedback. Thank you to everyone that joined us here. Just really appreciate everyone that stopped by, anyone that's going to watch the replay. Thank you. Just thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Remember to continue to share this information. Share, let people know, hey, Dr. Zarif Carolyn, the Mind of Nature, 8 a.m. PST on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And just remember to share that information with people because we really do appreciate it.
I wanted to say a little shout out to Aki, Akikoda. Akikoda 68, Sky Ames Productions. Let's say hello to my brother Michael Averett is in the house. St. Stevenson's 650, Chef Boy V, and we have Eclipse Soleil. First time I've seen you here, Chef Boy. I'm really glad to see. Thank you so much for being here, man. Or I'm taking for granted that you're a male, but thank you very much, Chef Boyd V, for being here. Really appreciate it. And keep coming and tell the other chefs to tune in and have the wonderful Eclipse Soleil. Thank you very much. It's so glad to see you. Um, and much love to everybody. And thank you very much for being here. We're going to do it again next week. And thank you. We were really holding some your attention. I know that it's hard, but share with other people. Let them see this. We have way more that we can share with you, and we will. But we know that your time is valuable, and we appreciate it. Don't depend on hope. Hope does not have a strategy. Don't hope yourself into good. You cannot hope yourself into feeling better. You can't hope that you're going to eat better. You can't hope that you're going to exercise one day. These are things you will not get a result. There's not a strategy. I just wanted to say that for our hopers, because last night we just saw people that were hoping for Michael Tyson to win the fight, and it wasn't enough hope in the room for that to happen. And it's like we do the same thing in politics. We do the same thing in education. We do the same thing in our belief. Remember, hope has not a strategy. I'm Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist.
And I am Carolyn Gentle. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Peace.